Now, irritable bowel syndrome affects about 10 to 15% of the general population and is more common in women than men. However, many people don't seek treatment from a doctor for their symptoms, and as a result, a high number of cases remain undiagnosed.
Today marks World Digestive Health Day. Joining us now to tell us more is Dr. Mark Rowe. We've met on the programme before, from Rowe Creevin Medical Practice, and Joan Horgan, who endured the discomfort and pain of irritable bowel syndrome, not to mention the considerable personal embarrassment and humiliation for more than 20 years before a PrecisionBiotic transformed her life. Good morning to you both.
Good morning, both.
You're very welcome. Nice to see you again, Mark. Joan, I'm going to start with you. I have two friends, one who has Crohn's and one who has IBS, and they both have lived their lives with the personal mantra of never more than about 20 feet from a bathroom, which makes people smile initially until you actually think about the reality of living your life like that. And it led to them being very embarrassed, very humiliated, and also very isolated. Was a similar story for you?
Well, I'd agree, Mark, yeah, in the sense that I suppose my life really was very difficult when it started approximately 15 to 20 years ago. And always when I went out for a meal or with friends, it was a case of knowing exactly where the bathroom was in case one did have to make a dash for it.
And living your life in fear of having an accident.
Well, that was a big thing, and especially with travelling. When I was on an airplane, and if it said, you know, seatbelt sign, and suddenly you think it's going to go off any minute, and it doesn't, and seatbelt sign is still on, and that was really panicky. So it did, and this anxiety that you would experience would, I think, make it worse.
Yeah, it would exacerbate it.
Yeah, exactly. And it was very, it held me back, I guess.
The consequence was, of course, is that you stopped travelling. You stopped putting yourself in those situations.
Well, I didn't actually stop travelling. I took more precautions. For instance, before a flight, I would actually get up maybe 4 or 5 hours beforehand and try and get my digestive system and bowel in order before I'd get on the plane.
When you say it started 15 to 20 years ago, what started? Well, so were you healthy, happy, everything was great?
Yes, absolutely.
And so what happened? What were you experiencing?
Well, what it started with me was bloating.
Okay.
Okay.
Which women around the world go, yeah, we've all been there.
And it gradually got worse, say, after the first couple of years. My tummy would bloat. So when I'd get dressed in the morning, by the evening, my clothes would be too tight for me.
Wow, okay, that's considerable bloating.
It was, oh yes.
Okay.
I used to describe myself as the frog, because I had these 4 thin limbs and this big, huge body.
And did you just think that was down to food, or?
Well, I thought it was down to food.
So you did the whole exclusion diets, you cut out everything?
Went to my GP, was told, okay, cut this out, cut that out, which I did, and nothing seemed to help.
Did it make it worse?
No, I wouldn't say it made it worse by trying these different things, but over the years it just gradually, it was a gradual thing, became worse.
So was there pain, was there spasms?
In the last 2 years, desperate pain in the lower tummy, and that really was debilitating in the sense it woke me early every morning, 5 o'clock.
And were you referred to any experts in this field?
I was, absolutely.
And what happened?
My GP was excellent in the sense that he would always transfer me to a gastroenterologist. I'd have colonoscopies.
And what were their findings?
Irritable bowel syndrome.
IBS.
And I would be told, well, you know, you just have to try and work it out for yourself. There's no cure. So I was lucky then to meet somebody last Christmas, and I think that was a day I'll never forget. And he suggested this PrecisionBiotic, which is Alflorex.
I'm assuming you've tried biotics and probiotics before.
Absolutely, yes. My own GP had actually prescribed probiotics
and
before.
they made no difference.
And they didn't make any difference. Even though I'd taken them for 2 years, I kept trying. So once I took this one, I thought, look, it's worth a try. So I took it, and now for the first 3 weeks there was no improvement, and I thought, another one of these you know, things to take. And in the 4th week, I couldn't believe it. I woke up one morning, I had no pain.
Wow.
And I thought, this is a coincidence. So it progressed and progressed, and I went 7 days with no pain, and I haven't had pain since.
And what about the bloating?
The bloating...
Can you not see?
Can you not see?
But seriously, the symptoms are gone.
Yes.
So after 20 years of suffering,
yes,
a very debilitating form of IBS, you now have no symptoms.
No. No.
Okay,
Wow.
let's
made a huge change to my
really,
life.
it has.
Yeah, absolutely.
get some of the science in, Mark Rowe. Now, when people talk about IBS, it's a generic, it's an umbrella term, and there's many different shades of it, and it could also include Crohn's, it can include colitis, etc., 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 can't it?
Well, Crohn's and colitis, Mark, are a specific form of what's called inflammatory bowel disease. We're talking about general digestive health problems. IBS is very, very common. Affects at least 10 to 15% of the population.
What is it? What is IBS? And how do you know if you have it?
Basically, it's all about bugs. There's about 500 different bugs that live in our guts. Most of them are good bugs, some of them are not so good bugs. The key is to have balance.
Okay.
And what's happening in modern life with travel, with the speed of everything, not eating a healthy diet, not taking enough exercise, being too stressed, there's an imbalance between the good and the bad bugs, and that's often exacerbated by taking antibiotics, often for needless virus infections. So when you get an overgrowth of the bad bugs, you get imbalance. That causes inflammation and swelling of the gut wall, which causes abdominal discomfort, bloating, problems passing wind. So many women, particularly who have this condition, suffer in silence, and that's why I really applaud Joan's courage.
If they're the reasons why we get it, bad diet, lack of exercise, stress, can we not address it by correcting those issues, by exercising, by having a healthy diet, by trying to achieve a less stressful life?
Yes, and sometimes we can, and you know, the building blocks of good health, like exercise, a good diet, learning to de-stress, learning to have real balance between your physical health and your psychological fitness and your emotional vitality, so important. But what's really, really exciting is what are called PrecisionBiotics.
Yeah, explain what they are, Mark.
They are specific, targeted things that hit the inflammation in the gut wall. So we've had probiotics for years, which are good for the immune system, good for general health. But PrecisionBiotics, they hit a specific area. So they specifically affect the inflammation in the gut wall.
They're targeted biotics.
They're targeted.
Yeah.
And it's really exciting. This company in Cork, they're connected with University College Cork. Lots and lots of research. They've produced this thing called Alpharex. It's the #1 recommended precision biotic in the United States. And Joan is after telling you that for her it's really after helping.
it's
Though, Mark,
transformed
as
your life.
Joan said,
Absolutely,
there's so many women, particularly women, who because of
Say
the
nothing,
humiliating and embarrassing nature of
You're
the
so right.
side effects.
And you know what? A problem shared is a problem halved. It's good to talk, whether it's about your stress or your mental well-being, or whether it's about embarrassing conditions, whether it's urinary incontinence or whether it's bloating or discomfort. Talk to your friends, talk to your doctors,
World
talk to your
Digestive
pharmacists.
Health Week, is there a one-stop shop in terms of a website or something that people can go to and get more information and be pointed in the right direction?
There is a website, and I believe you can link onto the website for your show here in Ireland AM, and you'll get the relevant link.
Okay.
And for people sitting at home going, what's the name of that again and where do I get it?
It's called Alpharex.
Okay, and where can people get their
And you
hands
can
on
go
it?
to your pharmacist.
Oh, you can just get it over the counter?
It's like a food supplement,
how
and
much
it's
is it, Joan?
available over the counter.
€30, I think it costs me a month. Yeah.
For a month's supply?
Yeah, a month's supply.
But you pay that for your
How much did you
Absolutely.
spend over the years?
I'd say I spent a fortune.
I'd say you've spent a fortune. Isn't that great you found something that works for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So
Thank you both very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Joan.
Nice to see you're still the best dressed doctor in Waterford, Mr. Rowe. The man who knows his good suits, I can tell you. Thank you very much.
Let's take the